Can I say something that's going to sound stupid?
Go for it.
I've done everything right. I've been good, I've worked hard, I've tried to have faith, and I still feel like I'm losing.
That's not stupid. That's literally the question 3 entire books of the Bible are built around.
Wait, seriously?
Dead serious. Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Job. 3 different answers to the same problem you just described. So let's actually go through them, because I think by the end of this, you're going to understand something about mental strength that self-help videos don't really get to. Okay, Proverbs first, because it's the version most of us grew up believing, even if we never read it. Simple deal. Live wisely, live righteously, and things go well for you. Live foolishly, things fall apart. Cause and effect, sow and reap.
That's basically what I was taught. Be good, get good.
Right. And honestly, it's not wrong. A lot of life does work that way. Work hard, you usually build something. Treat people badly, it usually catches up with you. Proverbs isn't lying to you.
So, then why doesn't it feel true right now?
Because Proverbs is describing the normal pattern of life, not a guarantee. It's wisdom, not a contract. But here's the problem. A lot of us quietly turn it into a contract anyway. I did my part, so the universe owes me the good outcome. And the second life doesn't pay up?
You feel cheated.
You feel cheated. And worse, you start wondering what you did wrong. Because if the rule is good behavior equals good outcome and you're suffering anyway, the only conclusion left is that you must be the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly where my head goes.
That's where everyone's head goes, which is exactly why the Bible doesn't stop at Proverbs. It puts a second book right next to it that says, hold on, that's not the whole picture. That book is Ecclesiastes, and it's honestly kind of a gut punch if you're expecting a neat, tidy Bible.
How so?
The whole book is basically one guy, traditionally understood as Solomon, looking at life honestly and going, people don't always get what they deserve. Good people suffer, bad people prosper. Life is unpredictable, hard to pin down. He compares it to smoke. You try to grab it, and it just slips through your hands.
That's bleak.
It is. But it's also just true. You felt it, right? You do everything right and still get blindsided.
You don't know what it's like to lose people before you even had time to become someone. To be a widow at 26, to bury your mom and still be the one everyone expects to hold it together.
Actually, I do know. That happened to me. Same year, both of them. My mom, out of nowhere. My husband a few months later. 26 years old. Heart just stopped. No warning either time.
Then how are you not still stuck in that?
Who says I'm not sometimes? But here's what Ecclesiastes actually gave me. Weirdly, permission. Permission to stop pretending life owed me an explanation. Once I stopped expecting fairness, the unfairness stopped being proof that I'd failed somehow. It just became life. Smoke. Unpredictable. Not a punishment.
That sounds like giving up.
I thought so too at first, but it's the opposite. Giving up is deciding nothing matters because it's unfair. Ecclesiastes says something different. It says life is unpredictable and still worth living well. Eat your bread, do your work, love the people in front of you, because that part's actually in your hands. The outcomes never were.
So Proverbs says the world is fair, Ecclesiastes says it isn't.
Exactly. And that leaves this huge, uncomfortable question hanging in the air. Okay, so is God actually just or not? Is any of this fair? And that question is exactly what the third book exists to sit inside. Not answer neatly. Sit inside. So, Job. This is the one that actually gets at what real mental strength looks like, I think.
Okay, walk me through it. I know the name, not the story.
The book opens by telling you flat out that Job is a good man. Not sinless, but genuinely upright. No ambiguity there, on purpose. Then there's this unsettling scene where a figure the text just calls the accuser shows up and basically challenges the whole premise of Job's goodness.
Challenges it how?
His angle is strip away everything Job has, and you'll find out his faith was never about God. It was about the paycheck. So it turns into this real-time question hanging over Job's whole life. Is what's underneath actually solid, or was it only ever propped up by things going well? And it gets tested for real. Job loses his family, his wealth, his health, practically all at once.
And he didn't deserve any of it.
That's the whole point. He didn't. The book tells you flat out he didn't. So this isn't a story about someone getting punished for hidden sin. It's a story about suffering that has nothing to do with what you deserve.
So what does he do?
At first, he actually holds up, grieves hard but doesn't turn on God. But a few chapters in, the mask comes off. He curses the day he was born, full despair, completely honest about it. And then his friends show up.
That's supposed to be a good thing, right? Friends showing up?
You'd think. But here's the thing. His friends are Proverbs people. Rigid Proverbs people. Their whole theology is God is just, the world is ordered, so if you're suffering this much, you must have done something. So for chapters and chapters, they interrogate him, basically making up hypothetical sins to explain his pain.
That's brutal. He's grieving and they're putting him on trial.
It is brutal. And honestly, it might be the most true to life part of the whole book, because that's just what people do. Someone's pain doesn't add up, and instead of standing in that with them, people go hunting for a reason it's their fault. It makes the world feel manageable again. For the friends, not for Job.
But people have done that to me. Not that blunt about it, but the have you tried praying more version.
Yeah, that's the same move dressed up nicer. So Job spends most of the book refusing to back down, and he's all over the place emotionally the whole time. Some chapters he's still holding on to God being good. Other chapters he flat out accuses God of running the world unfairly. Eventually he stops asking and starts demanding. He wants God in the room answering for this directly.
Does he get that?
Something shows up. A storm is how it's described. But here's the part that used to throw me. Whatever answers Job, it never actually addresses the question, never says why, never brings up the wager, the accuser, any of it. What it does instead is walk Job through the sheer size of everything. Corners of creation Job's never laid eyes on, things running on a scale he has no framework for. And then it points to a couple of enormous, fearsome creatures and basically says, these exist too, and they're not a flaw in the design. They just don't fit inside your idea of how the world should work.
That's it? That's the whole response?
That's the whole response. And at first that feels like a total non-answer. But here's what I think it's actually doing. It's showing Job that his suffering was never going to make sense from inside his own field of vision. Not because God's hiding something cruel, but because Job's asking a small lens question about a whole universe reality. He wasn't built to hold that much information. None of us are.
So what does Job do with that?
He goes quiet. Not defeated quiet, humbled quiet. He never gets his explanation. And somehow, he's still able to live at peace anyway. That's the part that actually redefines mental strength for me. It's not, I understand why this happened so I can handle it. It's, I don't understand why this happened, and I can still stand here.
That's a completely different definition than what I've been chasing this whole time.
Same. I spent a long time thinking strength meant getting to a place where the pain finally made sense. Job's telling you it might never make sense, and you can still be steady. Those aren't opposites.
What happens to him at the end?
Everything he lost comes back to him, doubled over. But here's the part people skip past. The story never frames that as a trophy for enduring it well. The loss was never a punishment in the first place, so getting it back can't logically be a prize either. It just kind of arrives, unearned, the same way the suffering was unearned. He never finds out why either thing happened. What he becomes is someone who can hold a full life and an emptied one in the same two hands, without needing either one to tell him what is worth. So here's where it lands for real life. 3 books, 3 moves. Proverbs, live wisely. Most of the time it works. Ecclesiastes, but not always. And that's not on you. Job, and when it really doesn't, the goal isn't to finally understand it. It's to stay standing without the explanation.
Okay, but practically, what does stay standing actually mean day to day?
Couple things. First, stop auditing yourself for hidden sins every time something goes wrong. That's Job's friend's move, and it's just as toxic when you do it to yourself as when other people do it to you.
Guilty.
Second,
figure out what's actually yours to carry and what isn't. What happens to you, what people say about you, none of that was ever your sack to hold. Your response to it is the only thing that's really yours.
That's these, isn't it?
Yeah. Doubt and fear. Neither one of them is proof you're doing something wrong. They're just what it feels like to be a person standing inside a universe you can't fully see the shape of. Same as Job.
And third?
Third, let restoration be a gift, not a reward. If good things come back into your life after a hard season, that's not you passing the test. You don't have to earn your way back to okay. It just comes sometimes, undeserved, same as the hard stuff was. Okay, I want to bring this all the way home because I don't think you felt it land yet. Not really.
Okay.
Proverbs told you the world runs on fairness. Ecclesiastes told you it doesn't, and that the unfairness was never a verdict on you. And Job's the one that tells you what to actually do with that. Not understand it. Do something with it, standing right in the middle of not understanding it.
Do what, though? That's the part I keep getting stuck on.
First thing, stop swallowing what you're actually feeling. You've been carrying doubt and fear like they're shameful. Like admitting they're there makes you weak. They're not a leak in your character. They're just weight that needs somewhere to go besides down, deeper, where nobody sees it. The second you actually say it out loud, like you did earlier, some of that weight already isn't yours to hold alone anymore.
It did feel lighter, saying it.
Second thing, people are going to praise you when you're doing well, and they're going to write you off when you're not. Same as Job's friends did. Neither one of those is actually about you. A rock doesn't move because the storm's loud. It just stays a rock. That's not coldness. That's just knowing what's actually yours to carry and what's just noise passing through.
Unshaken either way.
Exactly. Third thing, and this is the one I want you to really hear. You know how holding a plank isn't really a body thing past a certain point? Your muscles could go longer. It's your mind that starts negotiating, begging you to stop. Grit was never about never wanting to quit. It's about staying one more second after you already wanted to. That's it. That's the whole game, every time. Not forever. One more second.
One more second.
That's what Job did in the end. He didn't get an explanation and hold on because it made sense. He held on one more moment, and then another, without it ever making sense. That's the whole definition. Not the absence of doubt. Just staying. One more second inside the doubt.
I've been waiting for it to make sense before I let myself put these down. Like I needed permission. Like there needed to be a reason good enough.
There isn't going to be one. Not the kind you're waiting for. Job never got his, and he put it down anyway.
I still don't know why I lost them when I did. My mom, everything I lost. I don't know why any of it happened the way it happened.
You might never know. I don't know why I lost mine either. Both in the same year. And I still don't have a reason that makes it fair.
Then how do you get up every day?
One more second. That's all it's ever been. Not a breakthrough, not a moment where it all clicks and stops hurting. Just one more second. Standing. Without the explanation.
I can still stand here.
Say that again. Not for me. For you.
I don't understand why any of it happened. And I can still stand here.
That's it. That's the whole book. That's the whole video. Everything else was just getting you to that sentence. So here's the only real question left. Not why did this happen to you? You may never get that one. The question is, what's the one thing you can still do today, standing exactly where you are, without waiting for it to make sense first?
Because I waited a long time for permission that was never going to come.
Don't wait for the explanation. Job didn't get one. Just take the one step you can actually take today. That's the whole thing mental strength ever was. And hey, if you've got your own version of Job's friends waiting in the comments, say the thing anyway. We're not here to explain it, just to listen.